Greetings, Fright fans, and welcome into the lab. I'm Dr. Gangrene, and this is week 3 of our Christmas horror countdown. Now, week 1 we looked at the movie To All a Good Night, and week 2 we looked at the Mexican classic Santa Claus vs. the Devil. If you missed those, I'll put links down in the description box below and at the end of the video. Tonight we're getting our keeping our Christmas horror countdown going with a 1980s film, the third in a franchise. This is Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 3, Better Watch Out. Silent Night, Deadly Night 3, Better Watch Out is the third installment in the Silent Night series and is a direct sequel to both Silent Night, Deadly Night from 1984 and Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, 1987. Part 3 continues the storyline of Ricky, the killer from Part 2, who was gunned down at the end of that film. This time he's played by actor Bill Moseley. 6 years have passed and Ricky is in a coma. He inexplicably has a transparent plastic dome screwed onto the top of his head through which his brain is visible, at times quite bloody. The doctor at the hospital, Dr. Newberry, played by Richard Bamer, is experimenting in psychic research. He has a blind patient named Laura Anderson, played by Samantha Scully, whom he suspects of being clairvoyant. He is working with her in hopes that she can contact Ricky in her dreams. We see flashbacks of scenes from Part 1 in her dreams, and she wakes up screaming. Laura then goes to her grandmother's house for Christmas with her brother and his new girlfriend. But it turns out Ricky was indeed contacted by Laura, and he is fully awakened and triggered to violence when a drunken Santa visiting the hospital wanders into his room. He kills the Santa, then begins a rampage of violence, murdering people indiscriminately on his way to find Laura, with whom he now has a psychic bond. This film was co-written and directed by Monte Hellman, who directed Beast from Haunted Cave, Two-Lane Blacktop, and The Terror in uncredited scenes. The Terror, incidentally, is seen being watched on TV by several characters throughout the movie, which is kind of a nice little homage to Monte. Honestly, this is a strange film. Not entertaining enough to be considered a good film, and not terrible enough to be a so bad it's good film either. It's an uninspired slasher whose main draw is seeing Bill Moseley wander around with a plastic dome screwed onto his noggin. There are a good number of kills, but the violence, oddly, is mostly off-screen, so there aren't even a lot of special effects to carry the film. This is still worth watching though, just to see Bill Moseley in another wacky role. But honestly, it's the weakest of the series. I give it 2 out of 5 skulls. Still worth watching though, like I said. But I'll tell you what, they really missed the mark when they didn't have Bill put on a Santa Claus outfit. He kills the Santa in the hospital, like I mentioned. They had the perfect opportunity to put him inside the Santa suit, and later on he kills a guy who's wearing a Santa hat, so they could have at least put the hat over his chrome noggin if it would have fit over that dome. But they decided not to do that, so he wanders around part of the time in his hospital gown, and the rest of the time he steals some clothes from this hitchhiker that he kills, or this trucker that picks him up when he's hitchhiking. So, you know, I think they did that on purpose because they wanted to go a different direction, but to me, they missed the mark. And here's the other thing about this movie. Bill is playing the role straight. He's comatose like a zombie the whole time. Had they let him go nuts, put on the Santa outfit and had him go wild like he did as Otis Driftwood, or you know, with some of his crazier, wackier roles, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, this could have been a real classic movie and showed the kills. I think had they done all that, this would be considered one of the great classic horror movies, holiday horror movies of all time. They didn't, but it's still worth, like I said, watching, because that dome with the brain that you can see through is just insane looking. So anyway, let me know what you guys think about this movie. Have you seen it? Do you like this one? I think the Silent Night, Deadly Night franchise is kind of an interesting franchise from start to finish. The next 2 films are really out there. So yeah, this is definitely a franchise worth tracking down. All these films are available on DVD, and they're pretty cheap. So check it out, Amazon.com, and some of them may even be streaming. I'm not sure about that. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. And until next time, this is Dr. Gangrene. Be sure and join me Christmas night for the last of our holiday horror films. And until then, Merry Christmas and stay mad.